Hello students, how are you all? I hope all of you are doing good. All of you are safe at your home. Please take care of yourself. Today I am going to start with class 11th English, your subject code 301. You must be remembering that in our previous session we started with the chapter 2 of Hornbill, that is, we are not afraid to die if we all be together. So today I am going to continue from the same chapter. I hope all of you remember where we stopped in the last session, and from there only I am going to start. So I would like to ask all of you to open up that page from where we have to start. Yes, and I can see that many of you are able to recall that you were on which page, as I have already asked you people to write down the date where we stopped in the last session, and it's good that many of you have done that, followed my instructions, and now able to recall from where we have to start today. So quickly open up that page, and that was page number 17. Yes, you must be remembering we finished with the inspiration note given by Susan to her father. Through that card only he get the courage again to fight against the adverse situation that he was facing in his life. Through their voyage to the south of the Indian Ocean and finally back to England. Now we'll start from here. I checked and rechecked my calculations. We had lost our main compass, and I was using a spare which had not been corrected for magnetic variation. I made an allowance for this and another estimate of the influence of the westerly currents which flow through this part of the Indian Ocean. Here at that time he started doing the calculation and to get the idea that what kind of situation they are stuck in and what could be the different measure to come out from this situation. About 2 p.m. I went on deck and asked Larry to steer a course of 185 degrees. So he went to Larry and asked him to just move the steering to 185 degrees. If we were lucky, I told him with a conviction I did not feel, he could expect to see the island at about 5 p.m. And here narrator convinced him that if we are going to be lucky with that, then surely by 5 p.m. we are going to see the island, and that will be the hope for them to save their life. Then with a heavy heart I went below, climbed on my bunk and amazingly dozed off. Dozed off here means underline it and write it down. He slept unintentionally. When I woke it was 6 p.m. and growing dark. So underline and write down evening time. It was 6 p.m. at that time. I knew we must have missed the island, and with the sail we had left, we couldn't hope to beat back into the westerly winds. So as you must be knowing that he mentioned that by 5 p.m. they are going to expect to see the island, but when he woke up he found it was already 6 p.m. and they might have missed the island that he mentioned about. At that moment a tousled head, tousled here mean underline, already you have written in the beginning of the chapter, that is here it means untidy, appeared by my bunk. And who was that? That was Jonathan. And what he was asking for, can I have a hug? Sue was right behind him. So both the children were standing and Jonathan asked his father for the hug. Why am I getting a hug now? I asked. Then narrator asked that what is the reason behind it? Why at this time I am going to get a hug from you? Son replied, because you are the best daddy in the whole world and the best captain. But what the narrator said, not today, John, I am afraid. Please mark it. You can see here that he was little bit afraid. That's why he mentioned that he is having some fear. Then Sue asked, why you found the island? In a matter of fact voice, as if she was very well aware, she mentioned that you found the island. What? I shouted, because I was not at all aware that the island I was talking about, we have already found it. It's out there in front of us. They chorused. Chorused here means both of them said together that it's out there in front of us, as big as a battleship. I rushed on deck and gazed with relief at the stark outline of Ile Amsterdam. And which island it was? Amsterdam. It was only a bleak piece of volcanic rock with little vegetation. The most beautiful island in the world. Please mark it. Finally, and write it down. Finally, they reached their destination. Now, on page number 18, we anchored offshore for the night, and the next morning all 28 inhabitants of the island cheered as they helped us ashore. So next morning they reached there, and how many inhabitants were there on that island? Around 28, and all cheered them and helped them out to come on that land. With land under my feet again, my thoughts were full of Larry and Herbie, cheerful and optimistic under the direst stress, and of Mary. After reaching on the island, narrator was thinking about both the crewmen, Larry and Herbie. Both were cheerful and optimistic under the direst stress. Direst here means underline and write it down. Extreme stress, that kind of situation they were going through. Then also both were very cheerful and optimistic with the positive attitude. And of Mary. Then he thought of Mary, his wife, who stayed at the wheel for all those crucial hours. So please mark it. She was the one who helped him out throughout this tough journey. Most of all, I thought of a 7-year-old girl who did not want us to worry about a head injury. What subsequently took 6 minor operations to remove a recurring blood clot between skin and skull. So here he is talking about the bravery of his daughter Suzanne, who had severe head injury, and then also she did not disclose it, and later on it took around 6 minor operations to remove that kind of blood clotting between the skin and skull. And finally a 6-year-old boy who was not afraid to die. That you remember that this boy only said that we are not afraid to die if we can all be together. So this was the chapter that we have finished today, and I hope every one of you have understood it. For understanding it more better, I hope you people are going through the chapter, reading it thoroughly, and already you people have sent your videos to us. While you are reading, your voice should be loud. It must be audible clearly the way you are reading and then you need to send it to, and the size of the video should be very short so that easily you are able to send it through the mail. Now the whole chapter we have completed. Now I am going to start from the highlights of the chapter. From the beginning we are going to do the briefing of the chapter, and then in the next class we will start with the next you people are having your live class after this session. So I would be asking you different questions based on that. So please make sure that you people are preparing this chapter very well. Any of the question in between the chapter or out of the way could be asked. So you people are supposed to prepare it. You have to read it thoroughly, and then you have to be ready with your answers. So now move to the highlights of the chapter. Firstly, we'll recall the theme of the chapter, that was how optimism, determination and a strong willpower raise one's spirits and help them to overcome all forms of stressful situation. Now the highlights of the chapter. We can see a dream to duplicate the round the world voyage. You must be knowing the dream was there to imitate, to copy or to duplicate the round the world voyage. The narrator, that is mentioned in the chapter in the beginning only that we started. The narrator, a 37-year-old businessman and his wife Mary have dreamt to voyage around the world like the famous Captain James Cook. For the voyage, they have been perfecting their seafaring skills for the past 16 years. They have got a professionally built 23-meter and 30-ton wooden hulled boat, Wave Walker. The information related to this Wave Walker you need to learn, that can be asked in the questions. The boat has been tested for months in roughest of the weathers, just to check whether they would be able to continue their voyage with that or not. Then in the next part, the beginning of the voyage. In July 1976, the narrator, together with his wife and kids, son Jonathan 6-year-old and daughter Suzanne 7-year-old, sets sail from Plymouth, England. The initial period of the 3-year journey from the west coast of Africa to Cape Town proves to be quite pleasant. So initial 3 years were very happy, pleasantly they spent it. Before heading east, they employed 2 crewmen, namely Larry Vigil and Herb Segler. So these 2 were appointed just to help them out, so that they can help them to tackle one of the world's roughest sea, the southern Indian Ocean. So these 2 were hired. When they started their journey again, the second day they encountered strong winds and alarming waves, and by December 25 they managed to reach 3,500 kilometers east of Cape Town. Despite the bad weather, the family celebrates Christmas on the boat. However, the weather worsened with the passing time. Then the next is the catastrophe, the attack of the huge wave. Catastrophe means which creates damage, the huge damage. On the early morning of January 2, the family faces a strong, mighty waves and screaming winds. They attempt to slow down the boat by dropping the storm jib. They carry out life raft drill and prepare themselves for the worst case scenario by donning life jackets and oilskins. So all the arrangement they did so that they can protect themselves in this adverse situation. Later in the evening, a perfectly vertical, please pay attention here, perfectly vertical has been mentioned in a mocking way. Huge, tremendous wave hits the deck of the boat, throwing the narrator off the boat. He accepts his approaching death, and at that time you must be remembering that he was simply thinking peaceful. He was simply believing that now the death is going to approach to him, death is approaching to him, and he felt very peaceful and begins to lose consciousness. The boat is just about to overturn when another huge wave comes and turns it right back. The narrator grabs the guard rails and sails into the boat's main boom. In the main part of the front part of the boat, he came. He suffers injuries in his ribs and mouth. Next is fight for survival. Realizing that the ship had water in its lower parts, he instructs Mary to take the wheel while Larry and her pump out the water. He checks on the children in their cabin. He went to check what was the condition of their children, where Sue informed him about a bump on her head, to which he does not pay much attention. The narrator begins waterproofing the gaping holes just to avoid more water in the boat. Most of the water now deviated toward the side. However, their hand pumps block due to the debris and the electric pumps get short circuited. Fortunately, he finds a spare electric pump and connects it to an outpipe in order to drain out the water, because you must be understanding that water was there in the boat, so they were just trying their hard to remove or to drain out the water from the boat. They keep pumping and steering all night long. Even their mayday calls are not answered, as they are in a remote corner of the world. So they were sending different signals for their rescue, for their help, but that was also not answered, as they were in the remote corner. And that, what was that remote corner of the world? Yes, it was the southern part of the Indian Ocean. Next is injuries of Suzanne. Sue's head swells, her eyes go black and has a deep cut on her arm. On being asked about her injuries, she replies to her father that she did not want to bother him when he was trying to save them. So here it shows the maturity of a child, that although she was only 7-year-old, then also she was very well aware that instead of telling her own injury, it will be better if she is also motivating she is also going to motivate her father. Next, desperation to reach the land. The family manages to survive for 15 hours since the wave hit the boat, and that was seriously a miracle that still they were alive. The water levels are controlled to a considerable level, but they still have leaks below the waterline. Although they managed anyhow, but still the leaks were there in the boat. They decided to rest and work in rotation. So that is, they planned that how they are going to work and decided to work in shifts. The wave had left Wave Walker in a considerably bad state. Since it is not in a condition to make them reach Australia, they decided and hoped to reach the nearest island. But unfortunately, the chances to reach the island are very slim unless the wind and seas subside. Until and unless this wind and the sea is not going to be favorable to them, so it was quite difficult for them to reach to the nearest island too. Besides, their supporting engine had also been damaged. You can understand that how difficult situation was there for them. The whole family was there. Beside them, the other 2 crew person were also there. They were facing different problems, and at many times the narrator felt that this is going to be the end of their life. But then also they kept on trying and did not give up. Now the incident of January 4 and 5. After pumping out the water for 36 hours continuously, they take a sigh of relief as just a few centimeters of water is left to be pumped out. So, with their hard work, with their efforts, the result was that very less water was remained in the boat now. They decided to hoist the storm jib as the main mast is destroyed and head towards the supposed location of the island. Hoist, I hope you understand now. Flag hoisting, if we talk about storm jib, the triangular cloth that is put on the mast of the ship. Mast, if we talk about, is the pole, sort of pole that is visible on ship, you might have seen. Having found some corned beef and crackers, they eat their first meal in 2 days. However, their relief is short lived. The weather starts changing for the worse, and by the morning of January 5, they are again left desperate. Again, they were hopeless. Now, the next one is courageous Jonathan. Jonathan was the son of narrator, only 6-year-old. As the narrator goes to comfort the children, he is left spellbound to see the fearlessness of his son, Jonathan, who says that he does not fear death as long as they all are together. And this was one of the motivational incident for narrator, as up till now he was thinking that in this adverse situation it is going to be quite difficult for them to survive. But when he saw the courage of his son, he got the inspiration, and this filled the narrator with determination and courage to fight the sea. Next is the ongoing struggle. He tries his best to protect the weakened starboard side. That evening, the narrator and his wife sit together holding hands, feeling hopeless and thinking that their end is approaching. Again, you can see that the narrator and even his wife both were that much desperate, hopeless, that they started thinking that their end is near. But still, with all the moral support that he receives from his children, he continues his efforts. Fortunately, Wave Walker sails through the storm. He works on the wind speeds in order to calculate their exact position. While he is thinking, Sue gives him a greeting card expressing her love, gratitude and optimism. And here I hope all of you can recall when she brought the card, and that was the another motivation or inspiration for the narrator in this adverse situation. After that, though he is not very convinced, he instructs Larry to steer a course of 185 degrees, saying that if they are lucky, then definitely they are going to find the island by the evening. Then he goes to sleep with a heavy heart. It was there, na? Then he dozed off. So he slept. And now the climax of the story, that ultimate victory. Fortunately, they sail on and manage to find Ile Amsterdam. Ile means island only, by evening. On being informed about this, the narrator's joy knows no bound. Jonathan calls him the best captain and the best daddy in the whole world. Soon they get offshore and struggle to reach the island with the help of its inhabitants. This was the biggest achievement for them, because up till now they were thinking that they are not going to survive, but finally the destination was there. Stepping on the land after such turmoil fills the narrator's thought with cheerful and optimistic. Larry and Herbie supported Mary, a brave 7-year-old girl who did not want her parents to worry about her head injuries, and a 6-year-old boy who is not afraid to die. So I hope all of you might have got the idea that how the hopeless person get the courage and inspiration and motivation from the people surrounding him, and that was the victory of optimistic attitude, and that was the victory of overcoming the adverse situation with the positive attitude, with the positive hope. So here student, we have learned one lesson, that whenever in our life we are facing any kind of problem, try to share it with others, try to find out the solution from your parents, because they are the one, those who know much better than you. Instead of giving up or quit, we all are able to get the solution from our surrounding. And the same was there in this story, that how the other members helped the narrator to come out from such turmoil, and that was their victory. So students, that was the end of the chapter. The highlights we have discussed right now, and I hope everyone is very well clear that what the chapter was about and what lesson we have learned and how practically we need to follow it in our life too. Everyone is supposed to send their recorded video, the very short video in which you people have to read the chapter, the part of that, although you will read the whole chapter, but you will prepare one video, the short video in which you are reading loudly and clearly audible. You have to mail it as you are sending your homework. Then you have to prepare for your next class, that is going to be the live one. In that live session I am going to ask you the questions based on this chapter. Everyone should be ready with the answers. It should not be like that you people are giving the excuses or some other reasons. Just make sure that each one of you preparing for that session. And students, once again I would like to remind you, kindly join the live classes with your name, class and section, otherwise your attendance will not be marked, and that is going to have adverse impact on your attendance. So just to avoid any kind of adverse impact, what you have to do, you have to follow the instructions. Now take care everyone, have a nice day. Thank you.